welcome to Snapshot. I'm your host, Alan Wolfe. So don't go away. Our first order of business today is a look at some magnificent antiques. I think you're going to enjoy this, so stay with us. As promised, we always keep our promise on Snapshot. We're at the antique area right here at the Tropical Fairchild Gardens, the Ramble, the yearly Ramble. And I see you have your bird with you here, Dorothy Herrera. Tell us about that. That's part of an estate, correct?
Yes, we're heavy on birds at this Ramble because we have things from Alice Wainwright, and she was head of the Tropical Audubon Society and the Sierra Club and was a trustee at the garden. So we're very heavy in bird motifs. But this fellow actually was made in San Francisco in about 1980-81 by a prominent California artist. And we got this through the estate of Deering Danielson, the nephew of James Deering, who built Vizcaya.
Very familiar name here in Dade County. You got to hold on to that bird too to make sure it doesn't end up in one of the trees.
At $700, I'm hanging on.
What do you suppose that might have cost new? Just a ballpark figure.
Right here.
Well, isn't that interesting?
$762.25 was the original price.
And so this is a deal. It's $62.25 cheaper.
That's right. All right. Papier-mâché.
And over here we have, well, I don't know what this is. What is this? It's beautiful.
It's a wood box, and it literally sat next to the fireplace, maybe 18th, 19th century. It was literally full of wood for the fireplace. And it is hand done. And it's what's called toll. And I'm not going to tell you about all the layers of carbon black that make coal, but this allows us to call ourselves an antique booth, this one piece.
So these are really genuine antiques. Let's go back around this way because I saw a really pretty plate here.
Oh, yes, this is one of, we have so many beautiful bird pieces, and this is
Take a look at that.
This is perhaps one of the Arthur Singer plates that's done as a series, and that is one of the pheasants. But we have birds of every kind if you look around. If you're a bird person, this is the place to be.
Yeah, we do too at the TV station. We got birds of every kind of feather.
I've noticed that, but I thought you should say it and not me.
Oh, we have a live one here, don't we, folks? But she is a Snapshot fan. You told me that when we first met. You watch the shows.
You do. You really do a wonderful job. You have a nice manner, and you ask the right questions. And
Okay, well, give me my wallet. We need to pay her for that comment we promised ahead of time.
Anything I want?
Anything you want. Looking here, this is a decanter with shot glasses. And here's my wallet right here. Thank you, Rich Umansky.
I don't take credit cards.
Oh, well, in that case, no credit card. Sorry.
All right. Well, anyway.
Rich is holding my wallet because my wife is here today, and I didn't dare give her that wallet.
We have to be serious now.
Let's be serious. Go right ahead.
All right, so, well, anyway, we have gorgeous things, and I really don't think we ought to.
And you're one of them.
Well, now look, that'll get you anything.
Not an antique, but one of the gorgeous things.
No. All right, please be serious now. What else can I show you?
She's something else, isn't she?
I've really shown you enough.
Yeah, this is really beautiful stuff.
We've done the bird routine. We have gorgeous clocks. Really.
And of course you have lots more here. This is just a smattering of what you have.
So we have something for everybody. We've worked one solid year on putting this together. We started in April with Alice Wainwright's estate, and her gorgeous furniture is inside. And we're really excited about this. This is it's the 53rd Ramble.
Well, I know that...
Started out as the first chairperson.
Certainly not yourself.
Oh, darling, yes. Okay.
Well, this is absolutely beautiful stuff, and we're going to continue on because there is much more to see here at the Fairchild Tropical Gardens 53rd Annual Ramble. Well, from antiques to, I guess our audience would say the ridiculous, but I love this. Are you talking about me?
No, me, of course.
Oh, thank you very much. We'll make sure this stays on.
You're not ready for that yet.
Well, sometimes I feel like I am, especially with interviews like this. No, just joking. We saw you last year, Mr. Stemples, here at the display is called?
Fairchild Tropical Garden Ramble.
Well, I know that. Yes, that much. You know, we have comedians all over this thing. What do you think of my hat here? What am I wearing?
You're wearing a coconut palm frond hat.
It's actually made of a plant.
No, a tree.
A tree, I knew that.
All right, you got it.
And you have some beautiful new items this year, starting over here with your dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs?
Well, you know, they say that dinosaurs ended up to be birds. I was just impressing everybody with my historical knowledge.
They lay eggs, yes, they do lay eggs.
Tell us about this. How do you make it?
These are birds. I make these birds out of one palm leaf. Well, this is a piece of a palm leaf. That's all it is right there. It's origami. O-R-G-A-M-I, origami.
Where did you learn to do this?
I learned to do this in Canton, China.
How long did it take?
To learn or to do it?
Well, both, and even to get there. Did you go on an old freighter back in those days, or what?
I went steerage on a plane. Took 16 hours.
Along with the animals.
No, almost.
Okay. Also, you have some beautiful flowers here that are new additions.
Those are new. They're made from sugar pine. I bring this back from our place in North Carolina, and this is a maple. I said sugar pine, I meant maple. Sugar maple. It's it's very soft. See that? It's nice wood to work with.
And you could also use it to pick up an egg roll or something at a Chinese restaurant, or to poke somebody.
Or Harry Carey. Sorry.
Okay, moving on here. Behind you, you have, is this a swan? Is this a swan? What is this?
That's a duck. That's a duck.
See, I was just checking you out. I really knew all of this, but I learned a lot from you last year here at the Ramble.
It is center of gravity, and you put him in the wind, and he'll always face the wind. Isn't that neat when you stop and think of it?
Typically, what do you sell this for?
This one sells for about $15.
That's a bargain considering the labor that has to go into this.
It is, yes, it's very good.
Moving over here, obviously a holiday wreath of some kind.
By Agnes Johnson. She does it. She came to my class first with arthritis so bad she couldn't do any of these things. After a week, she was doing what you see here. So every year she makes these and brings them over.
Have any idea how long it takes to make that?
2 or 3 days.
It takes several hours, I know that. But she enjoys it and exercises her hands.
And moving over here, another new item.
That's an angel. That's an angel there. And that's made from a sheath, a philodendron sheath. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Philodendron sheaths. As you can see, it's rather neat. And this is for $5. It's a great bargain.
It is a great bargain. Some beautiful new items out here from John Stemples. Thank you again. It's good to see you this year as we continue on at the Fairchild Tropical Gardens Ramble. Stay with us. Well, we have found the culinary art. We have also found a good friend of mine, Yse Dumas, who you might recognize from our show at the San Michel Hotel some time back, a true expert on everything, food not being the least. We have some really delicious looking stuff here, Yse. Tell us about what we have.
Okay. The usual, of course, the famous croissant. Then the pâté.
All French, of course.
Definitely.
You know, you were the one that taught me the proper pronunciation of chandelier.
Yes.
I used to call it a chandelier, but what did I know till Yse gave me proper instruction?
Well, thank you. It's
Am
good
I
to
honorary
remember.
French?
Oh, you're very good, actually. Your French is excellent.
I like these people that keep saying that, don't you? Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, lots of neat stuff here.
Yes, you have, of course, the butter croissant. And then you have a pâté, which is a homemade pâté, and the doux de montagne, which is a very buttery cheese. It's a very delicate cheese. I recommend it with the croissant. And of course the Gruyère, which is a Swiss cheese. Now let's go to the pastries here.
Yes, let's go.
My favorite, and yours too, huh?
I don't know yet. There's only one way to find out, isn't there?
Very good. And as we
Yse,
all
remember.
know, watching Snapshot, please.
Should I try this?
Oh, please.
Okay, now tell me the name of this again.
Okay, this is called the Paris-Brest.
Yeah, well, I knew that. I was just checking you out. Okay.
Oh,
Is it polite to do it with my fingers?
Oh, yes, definitely. It is.
Okay, let's go.
He likes it. He likes it. Look at him.
Oh, wow.
Ah,
Great.
yes. Yes.
I understand you also run a bakery.
Yes, actually pretty soon, yes. It's a patisserie boulangerie and a little bistro. And it's called the Bistro Café.
Are you going to be the baker?
No, but I will be the trier.
Hey, me too. Let me continue on that. Fantastic.
I know. Then,
What's next?
Okay. This is called the Bavarois. Look at that. Huh?
Ooh, what's that made of?
Well, to be honest, it's very hard for me to. It has a jelly, and you know, it was gelatin, and then you have something that is called. You have angel cake here. You familiar with that?
Well, that's for people like me, angel cake, right? Oh, may I?
Oh, please.
You know,
75 cents.
you know what I really should do? I really should offer one to my camera operator, Rich, who's an old friend of yours, too.
Oh, yes. Hello, Rich.
Okay, but I'm not gonna, because, you know, he's working.
Yes,
And
but
so am I, really. It's
yes,
just
but
hard
I know
to
he
tell.
likes chocolate, so
Oh.
and marshmallows.
Well, I'm going to do this one then. Let me just check it, because I have to make sure.
Look, he's bribing me. He's bribing.
Oh,
Yes.
great. Well, this is chocolate, and
is
this one
chocolate.
I think we will offer to Rich. Here.
Absolutely. And this is.
Rich, are you on a diet? Well, okay, all right. Just this one, folks. You know, moving on here, you have
course.
some really lean meat.
Yes, this, well, the ham, and again, the Gruyere.
I've been accused of being a ham.
How could they?
I don't know.
Oh.
Okay, and you have some
Of course,
French bread.
the French bread, and what we do, we have the baguette, then the mini baguette, and then the French roll.
Looks like you have a real feast out here at the Ramble this year.
Yes.
Is this authentic French,
Yes,
everything
it is.
here?
Yes.
Let's get back to this cheese for a minute. You're talking about how delicate this cheese
Yes.
is.
So you want to try it, right?
Well, isn't it really my responsibility as a broadcaster to do that? If you
Absolutely.
say it's good, I really have to verify that for
You
my
have to
audience,
try it.
even though we know each other well.
Yes, you know I would not lie to you, would I?
Not at all. And I notice she's picking up a spoon because obviously I ate everything else with my hands, and she's giving me a message here that wasn't polite. Thank you. And I pick it up anyway. She serves it on a spoon. I pick it up with my fingers. Let's try this out. None for you, Rich Umansky. Oh, that is wonderful.
Yes. Yes, it's a very buttery, very creamy cheese.
Indeed it is.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for showing us around. Good to see you again. I know our audience enjoys seeing Issei Dumas again. And thank you for the French lessons
Thank you, my pleasure.
as we move on. Well, from French food to some beautiful musical instruments. You have a group, the name of it,
Penatics,
and your name.
Dawn Batson.
What kind of group is this? What would you call this style of music that we're about to hear?
Well, the music you're about to hear is steel band, and the particular song is called Pan Rising by Bugsy Sharp, who comes from Trinidad, and that's the land where the steel band, Trinidad and Tobago, that's where it was born.
And so I've kind of invited myself to play along here. I hope I don't ruin it for you. Do you just start all together, or can somebody be the conductor, you know, and somebody like a television host kind of guy? Do you think I could be the guy who starts it off, or am I not qualified for that?
Well, you can try.
I'm going to try. Okay. Here we go. I'm going to move right into the group here with I'll move into the percussion section since I'm a member of that now.
Engine room.
Scary to think of me being a member of your section, isn't it? Okay, are you ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, ready now. Am I doing a good job? He doesn't want to comment. How am I doing? Good. Right. I guess I'm not going to be hired, but I'm doing all right. Hey, I'm really getting into this. Maybe this is my new career, huh? You don't use any music. You don't talk much either, do you? Okay. What do you think? Am I doing all right?
Yes.
both stopped at the same time. What a nice job you did. Thanks for putting up with me, and thanks for joining us here on Snapshot. You know, I really wanted to stay over there and play some more with that great steel band, but they told me I probably ought to keep my day job. Alan Wolfe back with you, here with Suzanne Bovert. Did I say it right?
That's close enough.
Okay, at least I didn't completely mangle it. Names are very personal, very important.
Oh, that's all right.
These are beautiful plants. These are cacti plants. Did I say that correct?
Yes, you did.
And you are a cactophile.
I'm afraid so.
Starting out with the round plants in the front.
Yes.
Very beautiful and very different one from the other.
Yes, they all have unique characteristics depending on the areas that they grow in and what they've adapted to over probably several, millennia. These cacti in the front that you're referring to are called mellow cactus. They are grown in the Virgin Islands. That's their native habitat. The wool that you see on the top of those plants indicates that plant is mature and ready to bear fruit. As you see with one plant, the seed appears at the top, following its flowering.
Now, out of the flower comes from the seed.
Now, the flower comes first and then the seed. It's ready to reproduce.
I'm glad that you had that correct, see, because I had been reading about this and I was just checking you out. Now, does the flower eventually die and the seed spread from that?
Absolutely, yes. The seed follows the flower.
I knew I had to be right about something. Okay, moving back, a lot of much larger cactus plants, cacti. Tell us about these light green ones.
Those are actually not cacti. Those are succulents. Not all cacti are succulents, not all succulents are cacti. These.
What is a succulent?
All right. A succulent plant is any plant that stores water in its stem, in its main body part, and this is what provides life for the plant. Any plant that stores water in its body is considered a succulent plant.
You know, recently we were on the desert with one of our Snapshot editions, and we saw some cacti plants out there. And so all of those are not suitable for breaking open and getting water out of.
Probably to at least a minor extent, but it's not going to be a great deal of water. It's dispersed throughout the tissue of the plant. And of course, the tissue is made up of very small cells.
So there's no chamber of water as such in there?
Not as such, no. It's spread throughout the entire body of the plant. Just as all cells are typically minute, the water is in each individual cell.
It's very interesting. Looking down at this plant with what you refer to as wool on it, is that correct?
That's correct.
Tell us about why some plants have it, why others don't, and what's it made of?
It's just a fiber, a very fine hair-like fiber, and it's typically to protect the plant from severe heat and scorching, and since the skin is like a waxy substance, it tends to be very tender. So the wool and the spines act as a protective covering.
These are very interesting also, and again, very different.
These plants here?
Yes.
Those are also just a different color, different shape, different spines. They have beautiful orange flowers. I have one in a hanging basket that's several years old. Again, all these plants have different characteristics that attract people, from the flowers, the spines, the color, the shape, depending on, whatever strikes your fancy.
Do these plants have a problem growing in a climate such as South Florida where we have lots of water?
It is a challenge in some instances. If you have a protected area such as a greenhouse or a roof overhang, it tends to not show damage from the heavy rainstorms and then the intense heat that follows in late afternoons during summer.
How much water is too much water for these plants typically?
Too much water would be soaking at the base and remaining wet for a period of a week or more. If it dries out within a few days, that is healthy and normal for the plant under the environmental conditions it is adapted to.
Do these need extremely high temperatures, and how do they do in the winter, for example, on the deserts?
Well, in most desert regions, it gets very cold. So it's not heat as being a factor as much as the amount of light and the type of soil being rich in nutrients and quick draining.
You know, moving down here, I see, of course, some other types of plants. Now, these also have some kind of spines, but it doesn't look like a cactus plant to me.
Actually, those are very fine hairs that the cactus sends out. It's also a cactus in that the distinguishing feature of a cactus is a woolly pad from which the spines protrude. This is called an areole. If
This part here.
the indications of a spine are on top of this woolly little pad, felted pad, that indicates that it is a cactus as opposed to a succulent. Now, this plant has very, very small areoles. It typically does not, produce spines, but this is the joints of the individual leaves of this plant.
Does it flower?
Yes, it does. We have some in bud. Well, they may have been all sold by now, but they do flower.
Now, do all of them have to flower so they can reproduce?
I would say so, yes.
What would be one growing tip that you would want to give everybody for this type of plant? Just one main thing to be careful to either to do or not to do.
One main thing would be not direct sunlight and a cool temperature, not a very heated temperature.
Okay, well, thank you, Suzanne. Cactophile. That is a new one. Is that in the dictionary?
It may be, for all I know.
As we move on here at Fairchild Tropical Gardens at the annual Ramble. From some magnificent cactus plants to the bonsai section here of the Ramble. This is a giant bonsai. How is this made? What kind of a tree is this? Is it real? I have lots of questions, Mary Miller.
Right. It's a buttonwood tree. It's native to Florida, and this is a specimen tree that we would call collected, which means it was dug up out of the ground, and so the driftwood part was formed by nature, and then we formed the clouds of foliage on it.
Well, how do you get the leaves to grow out of this? Are these natural leaves to this tree?
Yes. If you look closely, you can see the back part of the tree has bark on it. And you can see the strips of live bark. That's carrying the lifeline of the tree. The driftwood part is actually a dead part of the tree. So the live part comes up and around, and then that's where the foliage comes from. You would never get leaves on the dead part.
Tell us from beginning to end how you made this tree. If made is the proper word for anything that occurs naturally.
Okay,
First thing you do is get an idea, right?
first thing you do is get an idea. It's like, it is an art form, so it's like painting. You can have all the brushes, you can have all the canvases and frames and the whole thing, but unless you know what you're going to paint a picture of, forget it.
Yeah, you must be talking about me, because I could have all the greatest art materials and have no idea what I'm doing. So you have your idea first. Then you go to the tree.
Right, then you go to the tree. So you have a preconceived picture in your mind of how you're going to shape this tree. Now in the case of a buttonwood, nature has already shaped it a little bit, so you kind of have to go with the flow. But in the case of some of our other trees, like this is a juniper.
Well, let's bring this out here where we can see it.
You can see the wire on the juniper has actually formed the shape of the tree. In nature, that would grow like a bush, and it would sort of ramble across the ground.
And this is very reasonably priced. I see you have a $35 price tag on here, and I imagine this is a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. It's a fairly young tree, so we start in a case like this that was started from a nursery stock.
Well, wouldn't you know, we would end up where the food is. Señor, buena comida, ¿sí?
Son asado.
Malo español.
Bueno, pero cubano.
Okay.
Cubano de aquí de Miami, no de Fidel Castro.
I guess he thought about that when he saw the pig. Mimi, this looks delicious. How big was it when it started?
It was 95 pounds, and we've been cooking it since 7 o'clock in the morning.
Well, you know, it really looks delicious, and I got to tell you, my cameraman, Rich Umansky, already indulged. Is it as good as it looks and smells?
It is. It is.
And the name of your restaurant?
It's Comida Latina.
And that's what this is, the translation, Latin food.
Yes.
I think it would be a good idea if we tried this to make sure that it is equally as good as what you say.
Serve you, bring your
well, thank you very much. I just think that would be wonderful. Mimi's coming around to take care of this. Let's take a look. Oh, look at this. Para comer?
Ese es puerco.
Sí.
El pellejito del puerco.
What do you think of my Spanish? Not bad.
Que hizo el brilloso.
Para comer, see?
Cada día está más sabroso.
Okay, here goes. This is low cholesterol, folks. All right.
Ya.
Oh, bueno, bueno.
Muy bueno.
The puerco bueno.
Bueno.
I used to have a girlfriend that was called that.
We also serve
Oh, wonderful.
Café Pilon.
Okay, Cafe Pilon, this gentleman Enrique here.
Enrique is the operator of the
Okay,
machine.
fine. Well, let's dig right in here.
That's right. Aquí un plato para el
Quiere
señor.
que le diga dónde es el puerco.
No, no digas nada.
¿Dónde es el puerco?
This has to be cooked thoroughly.
Thoroughly, yes, it does. It's been roasting very slowly.
How do you know when it's done? No red meat? How can you tell?
He knows. I don't know.
Just experience.
Yeah, experience.
We remember seeing him last year on our show, and we are about to indulge in some of this asado here, right? Puerco asado.
Yes.
Okay. I'll tell you, my Spanish gets better when it has to do with food.
We can see that.
You can see that. Well, let's, is this my plate here? Okay, well, we'll just put this right here and...
Que le ponga ahí puerco.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Oh, this is a special piece for Alan Wolfe here. All right. Look at that. Gracias, senor.
Gracias, muchas gracias.
A
Que Dios me lo
usted.
bendiga.
Okay, now here's the real test, folks.
Brilloso. Then start cutting because they're
Okay, here goes.
necesitan allá. Then wonderful.
Bueno.
Beautiful.
Bueno, senor.
Bueno.
Thank you very much. Mimi, thank you. And thank you for joining us on this edition of Snapshot. Excuse me. Until next time, I'm your host, Alan Wolfe, reminding you keep your focus right here on Snapshot, and we'll see you then. I'm going to get back to this great roast pig. Thank you all.